How's it going? Rob here, making a vlog. Today's Monday, but I'm not doing this live as usual. I'm recording it because I want to edit in some video from last weekend where I was away. I was attending my close friend and wingman for the last 5+ years, Billy Lofton's wedding this weekend, and went there with a bunch of City Fan people up to Pennsylvania. It was a little bit out of Baltimore, and probably was the best wedding that I've ever attended. I think a big part of that was because I was so close to the story. I was so close to Billy through that entire process where, you know, like I said, Billy was the guy I started City Fan with, and it really started because him and I were just kind of, you know, sitting around wondering what to do with ourselves on the weekend, bored out of our minds, and thinking, you know, this sucks. Like, somebody has to fix this problem. Or we just really weren't thinking about fixing the problem. We were just trying to figure out how to fix the problem in our own lives. But just being there with him through the entire process as he waited, and, you know, as we complained and as we wondered if it was even worth it. And, you know, this is 3+ years before he even met the girl, and then it was another 2 years before she ever reciprocated feelings for him. So for him, this was like a 5.5-year journey that we were on together, and to see it all kind of culminate, you know, this weekend was a really special moment for me. You know, when I personally got very emotional when she came up. I did not expect to be emotional. I mean, I'm not a very sensitive person, I don't think. But when she came up the stairs, and man, it just, all the feelings, you know, hit me, because I just remembered all the times being there with Billy, and, you know, where we were, you know, wondering if it was worth it, wondering if it was even worth it, you know, and complaining about the process, and just in the grind together. He was my road dog, and I posted a Instagram video, or an Instagram post recently, and I said, you know, as sad as I am to lose my best single buddy, I was so grateful to have a front row seat to see that, to see the story, that the love story that God wrote, and see how it all came full circle for him, and just feeling his love for her at the wedding, and seeing how grateful he was to have received his breakthrough, and really to be stepping into his promised land. Talk a lot about that. Was it was just an amazing moment for me. So I want to show some video of that, and then we'll come back around.
We just wanted to say thank you to everyone for coming tonight. This whole weekend. It's just been something we've been planning for months, a long time. And
Party time! Ba-boom! Come on, Billy. Tie it up at least. Home run. Go, 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 go! Hustle, hustle, hustle! Hustle, hustle! Come on, Chris. There it is! Yeah, go! Go, go, go!
All right, probably your underwear has
Calvin Klein.
American?
Yes.
Sniper?
All right, Frodo, it's the first.
From his ball.
Oh, yeah.
Good job, man. Good job, man. I can't believe it. That's amazing. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah. 31, by the way. Level 31.
What's up, dude? You ready?
Oh, man. Yeah. Just trying to take it in, man. It's been a crazy morning. You know, pictures are in an hour, and so thankful Brandon's here, giving me a fresh shave, doing some tight lines, and you know, it's been a great weekend, man. It really has.
Today's a big day.
I know.
Long time coming.
I know.
So everybody, this is Billy Lofton. You may have heard me talk about him if you watched any videos about City Fam. Of course, you've seen him in many. Billy's been my road dog, my wingman for the last 5+ years. The guy I started City Fam with, and today is the culmination of a long journey, a dream.
That's right.
He's getting married today to the love of his life.
That's right.
How you feeling?
I'm excited. It's been a great weekend just with my family and friends, and you know, her family and her friends just co-mingling, and you know, had fun playing kickball yesterday and just hanging out and just really enjoying being with each other. And today we get a chance just to celebrate each other and just what God has done over the years for both of our lives. And just excited. I mean, I'm so full of emotion, it's even hard to describe like really one particular feeling, because it's so joyful, and it's such a like an moment, because it's been a long journey, and I know that this has been God throughout my life to bring me to this place right here and right now.
It's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I tell you, for me, it's been really cool to be part of it, just like I told you before, just to watch it from the outside. Sometimes I'll get people say to me, well, how do you know that waiting works because you've never actually been in love? And I usually answer them, well, I know that not waiting doesn't work because I've done all that. But just seeing how God wrote your love story and being part of it and watch it throughout those 5 years has been, you know, amazing for me, and really been, if I had any doubt if there was a right way to do it, you removed that, and I appreciate you for that. But I did want to ask a couple questions, because I know that there are people that will probably be watching this video that maybe you're waiting, maybe you know you're thinking about waiting, and you're wondering, does it work? Is it worth it? And I wanted to ask you a couple questions.
Sure.
Because you are, to me, living proof that it works. So, you know, was there ever a point where you were going through, because I know me and you've had some pretty candid conversations, where you were going through the last 5+ years where you wondered, is it worth it?
I mean, yes. You know, when you go through any type of desert experience of dryness and not having the things that you want and crave, obviously you don't really understand what awaits you in the future. All you can tell is what you're experiencing in the moment, and obviously you grow weary. Obviously you're like, yeah, like if I could just let loose a little bit and enjoy some pleasure. But at the end of the day, like where I'm at right now, I get to give her something very special that I've been waiting to give, and obviously not just my heart, but you know, we've kept ourselves pure, and it's a really great gift to give, and a very special moment for both of us. But the question you asked, was it difficult? Absolutely difficult. Was it worth the wait? Absolutely. It was definitely worth the wait.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
One thing I wrote about in the book, and this is something that he said to me, because I remember before he started dating Ariana, and you were really at a point of just, you know, you were worn out, you were tired, you're like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. And then after he started dating Ariana, he said to me, if I would have known how good it would be, I would have waited a lifetime.
Yeah.
And that was something that I remember and really stuck with me. Let me ask you a question. So you kind of waited 3+ years before you even met Ariana.
That's correct.
So me and you were just hanging out.
Yeah.
Was it easier or was it harder once you had your eye on a specific person?
Good question, Rob. Well, it took me 1.5 years or 2 years to even date her. So yeah, it was hard to even wait in that aspect. But when we got together, I don't know, it was how I positioned my life in the sense of being, you know, in church and being on staff and really sharing what I believe and what I think. It really held me accountable to do the right things. And it's to the point, and you've said it sometimes, Rob, where you would say, sometimes you just have to say it in order to like live it out. And then when you say it, then you can live it out and really hold yourself accountable to that.
All right, lastly, what advice would you give to someone that was out there waiting or thinking about waiting?
I was thinking about this in the shower today, actually, and something you said earlier about if I knew how good it was, would you continue to wait? And I told you I would wait a lifetime to be with Ariana, and I really, truly mean that. So when you get to what God has for you, it's almost like it's so good and it's so amazing that all the hardness or the hard times and all the rough bumps and bruises and, you know, being alone and just longing and wanting to be with someone, it all fades away because the gift is there. And you've arrived, and it's those feelings, you don't think about them anymore. It's just that in the moment it's just so tough and so hard, but when you get the prize, oh my goodness, yeah. It's like I would do it over again and over again and over again. To have what I have with her and the love that we have for each other is absolutely worth the wait.
That's awesome. I know I said last question, but I did want to ask one more thing. What do you think that process did to you? If you look at who you were when you started and you look at who you are now, because I know it's hard to feel, it's hard to see what's happening to you while it's happening, but it's only when you're able to look back sometimes that you really see what God was able to do through that. So, I mean, obviously we started City Fam, and
yeah,
really a big part of that was because we were both waiting and we were like bored.
Yeah.
So we had to do something to fix it.
Yeah.
But was there anything else that stands out to you specifically?
I mean, I would just say that trust that God has a plan. Trust even in spite of all the difficulties and, you know, all the hard times. Know that God is working out something great for you in your life. You may not see it, you may not feel it, you may not understand it, but, you know, I'm a man of faith, and the Bible says that God works all things for the good who love God and are called according to his purposes. And in the midst of the storm, in the midst of the anguish, in the midst of the pain, you don't understand the goodness that's coming around the corner. I would just encourage those that are in that midst and in that pain to hold on. Don't let go. One day at a time. Be the man that God's called you to be today. Be the man that God's called you to be, so that way when God brings you that woman, she's the right woman for you to be, and you don't miss it. Because if I was out playing, I mean, you know, there was times where I was playing, and if things didn't happen the way they needed to happen, I wouldn't be with Ariana.
That's right.
But for 3 years, I just stopped dating, and I stopped and just really wanted to let God bring me the gift that he's brought me through Ariana.
Yeah.
So.
And he used that time to work on himself as well.
Oh, absolutely.
And if you're a woman watching this, then obviously it applies to you too. Use the time to focus on yourself so that when God brings that man into your life, you're ready. But I appreciate it, man. It's been a great ride.
Thanks so much, Rob.
Thank you.
Yep.
Now, ladies and gentlemen. Billy, we're going to count down from 3. All right, we're going to count down from 3. 3, 2, 1.
You know, I sat there last night and I was talking to a friend and I said, it really is all about relationships, you know, all this. I'm so grateful and blessed to have so many quality people in my life right now. And I just sat there really reflecting on the last several years and really kind of realizing, you know, you think about something like exercise, you know, which is, I bring it up a lot because I feel like the consequences of exercise are very easily understood by everyone. Like if you don't put in the time and the effort, you know, into, you know, exercise or dieting, let's say eating healthy, you suffer from it. You either, you know, you gain body fat, or you know, you can even develop diseases, but typically you're just going to get really out of shape, and then you're going to suffer because of it. You're going to feel a certain way about yourself. You're going to, you know, your health could suffer. But when you don't put in the work into relationships, which we're, like I talk a lot about, we're made to connect, we're made for community, that's when people develop, you know, habits, when they pick up addictions to drugs, alcohol, sex, gambling. When you start putting your needs before the needs of others, then people pull away from you because nobody wants to be around selfish people. When you put someone's needs above your own, it builds better relationship, it builds bonds. That's why at City Fam we base, you know, the whole thing is built on sacrifice, is built, you know, on showing up for others. And it really stemmed from when I was a nightclub promoter. You know, I thought I had all these friends until the shit hit the fan in my life, and I realized I didn't have many friends at all. I actually just had a bunch of people that I partied with. And it was a very painful lesson to learn. And when I, you know, had a chance to do it over again, I thought, you know, I want real friends. I don't want to have to worry about someone hitting on my girlfriend when I go to the bathroom, or if I'm moving. I want people to show up at my house and help me move, which means I have to show up at other people's houses and help them move, and I can't hit on other people's girlfriends when they go to the bathroom. So I had to start putting other people's needs above my own in order for them to put their needs above, you know, my needs above them or theirs. And it built better, greater, deeper relationships. But when you don't do it, like I said, people drift. People drift away from you, and then you end up suffering. I see people, you know, hit me up and they're like, hey, do you know anybody that has a truck? I'm moving tomorrow. And I'm thinking, well, you should have cultivated that community a long time ago, because, you know, if you didn't, you're going to be hard pressed to find a bunch of strangers to show up at your house and help you move. That means you had to help them at some point and suffer with them. And that's really what City Fam is all about. So I don't know if that makes sense. I'm rambling a little bit like I usually do. But it was just a realization that I had, and everything is so black and white to me now. It's just so simple how to go about this. Now, it's not easy, you know, it's not easy at all to put people's needs above your own, but it is simple. It's a very simple concept. You just try to think with others, you know, other people. Just treat other people like they're more important than you, basically, and that's biblical. So yeah, it was a great weekend, and yeah, really enjoyed myself. And I don't know how many people came up to me and told me that I was next, and I said, well, it would be nice if I had a girlfriend, because I don't know how I'm going to be next when I'm not even dating anybody. But you know, it'll happen in its own timing. For now, City Fam is my girlfriend. Why Waiting Works is my girlfriend, and you know, they both keep me very busy. So good stuff happening here. We have a volunteer event this Saturday. We're going to be planting trees in Baltimore City, with the Baltimore Tree Trust, and then we'll have an after party. And we have several groups launching, small groups launching in different cities right now. For sure, we have Baltimore, New York, and Houston all starting in the next week and a half. So excited about that. We're probably going to have a virtual group, and you know, it's going to be called The Truth About Sex. We decided to call it. We didn't want to call it the Why Waiting Works small group, because I want people to come that may not believe that waiting works, and feel free to disagree and share their opinion. So we're going to call it The Truth About Sex, and And we are probably going to have a virtual group based out of Baltimore. So for anyone that's not in one of the locations where a small group is starting, you'll be able to tune in online each week and still get some value out of the questions. Not the community aspect, which is what I really want people to experience, but you still will be able to get some value out of it. So anyway, that's it for right now. Talk to you guys later. See ya. Bye.